Over the years, I've heard many resistances. Also, I've had many resistances before I met Guruji to the simple truth, the simple pointing. One of the biggest resistances has been, it can't just be this. It must be something else. We hear this often. When we say that the simple awareness is what you are, then something inside wants to fight that because this is too just simple, easy. There's no story we can paint around that. So the mind says there must be something. Because all throughout our spiritual journey, we've heard about the glory of this self-realization, the glorious divinity of the liberation of one. You see? And here we find, but I've always been this. It's always been at the root of what is here. Prior to all appearances, I have only been this. So when we discover that, especially when I speak, I say you don't even have to try to be that, because you cannot leave that. At least this pointing was there, where everyone says, be that, abide in the self. Even Bhagwan said, abide in the self. But this is a simpler time, maybe. It's been made even simpler. Simpler time, maybe, where we say, okay, leave that and show. So that's why I said that abidance at best must have meant don't pretend to be something you are not. What else is there to abide in? Because the truth, is not leaving. By definition, the truth is not leaving, it is not coming and going. So what else is there to abide in? Except that we keep our power of belief in our pocket. We don't pretend to be this or that. And what can we pretend to be? We can only pretend to be something that is appearing. Only pretend to be something that is appearing. And if something is appearing, then it is disappearing. This is the root of all suffering. Because we pretend to be something that is appearing, then when it is disappearing, we want to make this that appears and disappears, this that comes and goes, we want it to be permanent. But this can never be. But in wanting to make the appearance permanent, we pretend as if we have forgotten what we truly are, which is the permanence itself. So when it is seen that I cannot be that which comes and goes, I have always been here through all my delusions. Then something says, but what's so great about this? Initially, the mind can say like, so what's so great about this? There must be a level forward, level next. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it can be like that. So maybe Ananta has not found it. Because he is a regular guy, he wears regular clothes. He doesn't have Swami or something in front of his name. So maybe there is something. He's a well-meaning guy, but maybe he's not discovered it. You see? And in contemplating this, we see that what could be another experience which has been missed. But for that experience to happen, doesn't there first need to be the awareness of it? To discover the level next, wouldn't there first need to be the awareness of that level next? So this is at the root. And we've seen that no matter what the state is, this awareness remains untouched. So even intellectually, If we were to look and to ask, so what should be the nature of the true self? Say it must be invincible, it must be immortal, it must not be coming and going, it must not be attacked or hurt, it cannot suffer. This must be the nature of the true self, even intellectually, if you were to contemplate. You see? And this awareness fits in perfectly with all of this definition. It is not coming and going through any state, through anything that time and space is bringing. There is no way that this pure witnessing can be attacked by anything phenomenal. It cannot be made full by anything phenomenal. There's always infiniteness within it. You see? It is the immortal one. Through all the appearances, it remains. You see, so when we hear like this, then we say, ah, okay, I like those attributes, immortal, invincible. So maybe this is the truth, the supreme. Like that, we have to use these words sometimes. So just so that you can accept the truth of who you are. But actually, no label suffices. Because we can say supremely magnificent and also say supremely nothing. There is nothing phenomenally and nothing definitely in language that can be used to describe the truth of what we are. Very beautiful something I was reading on the weekend by Khalil Gibran. And he says that one morning I woke up and I forgot to put on any of my 7 masks. Very beautiful. He says I have 7 masks that I put on. And one morning I woke up and I forgot to put on any, I'm paraphrasing of course, forgot to put on any of my 7 masks. And this was the first time I experienced the truth. So the identity, the personhood, this is what he would mean by masks. So if the waking happens, the presence of I am is there, but we don't then put on any mask after that. What is missing in this? Nothing is missing in this. So this mask of identity, this mask of ideas about who we are. And as consciousness, it is completely in our power to not put them on. Just like it is in our power to put them on, to give them our belief or not to. Because sometimes many of us I see fall into this Advaita trap. You say there is no identity, therefore who should not believe? But this don't believe your thoughts, don't believe your next thought is not a pointer for the identity. Why would I waste my time telling the identity to do something when it doesn't exist? This pointing is just a monologue that consciousness is having with itself. So here it is recognizing that there is this power of belief, the power to pretend to be a person. Therefore, it is speaking to itself, saying it is only leading to identity, to personhood. And then immediately we are brought to the right now. There is nothing ever wrong with the right now. It is neither right nor wrong. It is just what it is. Maybe it was Shakespeare who said something like this. Nothing is ever right or wrong except when we think about it. So all these clues have been around forever. Just now, who am I? Without my stories, without my ideas, who am I? If the truth is true, then it must be present here right now. Stop all waiting. Stop all waiting for mental confirmation. And just report from the right now. It cannot escape you. Don't believe any ideas that I'm still not there yet or something like this. The truth cannot escape you because you are it. Don't try to become the truth. Before you can decide what to do to get freedom, you are free. Before you can take one step towards freedom, you are free. But the identity can never be free. And if you're going to be frustrated about the fact that the identity is not free, then it's going to be a long, long frustration. The infinite frustration will be this one. This is why, this is my, see, delusion, that we even have to say this, that we even have to say that the identity cannot be free, gives us a clue as to why this is such a big delusion. Why? Because identity does not exist. The identity is just a set of ideas. It does not exist. Therefore, so simply it is seen it cannot be free. It does not exist. And yet, this is the power of our belief. Because we have believed and believed the existence of this non existent one. That's why we want to make it free. Such is the power of this play. And it's completely possible that in 5 years, we could be in another level in the play. I don't know whether any of you track the technology news, but Facebook has this device called Oculus Rift, which I've spoken about in the past as well. Now it's available for sale, the first models of Oculus Rift. When you put on this headset and you're transported in a different world. I haven't experienced it. This is what I've heard. You're transported in this virtual reality and it seems very real. You see? So it could be that 5 years later, there's a Ananta inside the Oculus Rift sharing Satsang over there trying to convince you that this world that you're in, the Oculus Rift, is just a virtual world. That's all that's going on. And what would I say? Just discover who you are. What were you prior to this appearance? Before all of this starts coming. The trouble is that you're attaching to something that is appearing here. Just go beyond that. You see? Inside that virtual reality system also, this would be exactly the same. Because actually it is exactly the same. So we don't know at what level of this play, at what iteration of this play we are in right now. Okay, so let's take this example a little bit further. So you put on this headset. What part of you do you carry into this game? Really contemplate. What part of the originality of you do you carry into this game? Has the being changed? The being is the same. The identity could be different. The body is obviously different because you're in this virtual reality and you have this computer body. But the being is the same, is constant. And the awareness, the content is changing, but the awareness remains the same. So this remains unchanging. Consciousness and awareness. Awareness itself. And even in this realm, we have seen that this content here is coming and going. I cannot attach to it. See, even emotions, external world objects, people, relationships, money. That is why in this game, I feel that the questions, can you stop being now? And am I aware now? Are very vital. Because these two questions take you beyond the realm of appearances. So, do we want help for this character that is coming or going? Or is it something more primal than that? Is this urge for freedom more than the quest which is personal? This is what I mean when I ask, because I know this question can cause some confusion. When I ask, are you done playing now? This is what I mean. Is this urge for freedom more than just a personal desire? Because if it is just a personal desire, then it will not be fulfilled. How to check this? It's an interesting question. It's an interesting contemplation. But in a sense, we check that in every satsang because nothing personal is offered here. And yet we continue to be. And every day, more or less, I repeat that I have nothing here to offer for your identity. There's nothing I can do for you personally.